On last week's episode of our Street Legal Legends car build, nicknamed Petty Chevy, we got these 6-inch LED floodlights that we plan on using as headlights up front, this easy-to-use wiring harness, and then we also have our quick disconnects installed on our battery. This week we'll focus on getting our wiring harness installed and testing our headlights. So I think I've spent probably the better part of 2 hours trying to tidy up that wiring harness a bit. I am a little bit limited by what I can do. I don't have everything that I would like to have to get it fixed. I also found that one of the harness connectors that they have is totally broken, so I'm going to have to fix that. So I haven't finalized everything. But what I tried to focus most of my efforts on was getting this section tidied up a little bit. These harnesses were coming down. They were zip tied onto this fuel line. They were zip tied down here. The starter wire was everywhere. This wire here was barely holding on for life. So what I've done is I've just added some nylon P-clamps around the wires to kind of keep them in a specific spot for now. What I've got to work on a little more is making sure this alternator wire or generator wire is tucked up a little better. It's really close to this adapter flange here, so I just don't want that to get down while it's driving and short out the car. I'm not doing too much modification. I'm just trying to get this to be repaired for the things that I see that I just don't like, that need to be redone. Like some of those wires were nearly pulled out of the connector. Some of them look like they had been arcing for a little bit too. So I'm just trying to focus on getting things cleaned up a little bit right now so that I can run that wiring harness for the headlights and get everything kind of mocked up and fit well. So right now I have the majority of the headlight harness ran. It's not finalized, but I have it laid out at least where I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like so far. Harness is here. This is the power connection. I still have to make that connection. I also have the relay right here. My thought is to mount it somewhere right here on this flat piece of the rail. Then to take a harness and zip tie it, or at least fasten it to the frame rail. I do have it currently running up this rail. And then once it gets to this rail here, I have it tucked away, and I'm going to have that zip tied or fastened to the rail here. Then on the inside, what I've done is run the harness up against the body. I can't really tuck it any closer because then it'll start to actually pinch. But then I have it run up this frame rail here, and then it continues along this frame rail and runs down past the mirror, down past the dash. You can see it right here. I had to bend this out of the way. I'll have to bend that back. It's not pretty now, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to keep it pretty. I have it run down here and then run into a hole that I made through the firewall. I wanted to take a quick break from all the one-on-one camera talking. I know there wasn't a lot that I've got actually showing you in this episode, but here is something I can show you. I was just marking up where I wanted to mount this rocker switch for the headlights, what would be a good position for it. I thought over on the left side, like every other car that's ever been made, most of the headlights are put over on the left side. I just figured that this, right underneath this plaque, would be a great position for it. So I'll get my drill bit out and you'll see me drill out the holes. I had to be a little bit cautious. I might have over drilled it just a bit, but I do think I can take up some of that slack with either some vacuum tubing or electrical tape somewhere down the road. I did have to mess around for a bit to get the hole the correct size for this rocker switch, but I did make sure that when I was done, I went back with a round file and cleaned up all the edges so that I wouldn't just nick myself later on down the road. You would have seen that I made a hole for the switch over there for the headlight. I do have that currently fastened up underneath here. I don't know how well you can see any of that. It's just bundled up for now until I finalize everything. Just wanted to kind of try and get everything in place and just show you guys a little bit of what I've been doing with the harness. And currently I'm also out of zip ties, so I can't even just zip it into place to see if I like where it's at. So as far as the wiring harness for now, we're gonna leave it at that. And then once we get brackets made at the front of the car, we'll figure the harness out more, because I'll know where the headlights are gonna sit and how much harness I actually need and how much I'm gonna have to bundle up in excess. I've got the door mostly closed. I can't get it any darker than this. The lights are all at the top. We're just gonna see what everything looks like with the lights off in the shop and the door closed, see how bright everything is. Actually, surprisingly, that's very bright. Even in the limited amount of dark areas I can shine it on. I'll flip the camera around and show you guys what I'm seeing. That's both of them sitting on top of the car right now. I've got one in my left hand. I'm kind of just moving that around, showing the different areas that it is lighting when you move it in and out of the viewed area. That right now is just one of the lights, and this is both of them. So I actually think I might be onto something with these less expensive, big budget tool store headlights. For $30, they seem like they're going to work pretty much exactly the way I want them to. Ultimately, where I would like to mount the lights is different, but I'd have to make a bracket for it, and I do not have that set up just yet. But we're going to go ahead and flip the lights on. They're pretty bright. There's a lot that is obstructing those lights in that position, but where I'm actually thinking of putting these lights is making a bracket and having them sit somewhere next to the grill here or near the fender. I think we're going to wrap the episode there for this week. I know that I said I was going to do brake lines like I was working on last week. I just got way headlong into that wiring. I wanted to get that set and ready to go because that's a big major thing, figuring out added additional headlights for this vehicle. So I don't feel like I got a lot done and finished, but I do know that I got a lot accomplished. I got that battery installed, I got the quick disconnect installed, I got the wiring harness ran somewhere along the lines of where I want it. I still need to fasten that down. I got the mirrors put on, I've checked the headlights, I know that they're gonna work. They should be enough, but there may just be some more that I have to add in the future. And I just want to thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. Really appreciate that. If you've gotten this far, I would appreciate you guys leaving a like, comment, subscribe, notification bell. Anything that you guys can do is going to help out the channel immensely. Lets me know that you're enjoying what you see on the Petty Chevy so far. We do have a lot more to come. There's still a lot of things left to be done on the car, and we still eventually have to go pick up our other car. But as of this week, I'm just going to shut it down there. So we're going to go ahead and close up the shop and go home. Thanks, guys. Guys like what you see so far on the Petty Chevy. So stay tuned. New York Yankee.